Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back here with a Varus supplementary guide. Today we're going to be taking a look at Lethality Varus. And you guys can already see from the title, this is a banger 21 kill gameplay. And but before we get to that gameplay, let's first talk about his loadout. So not too much has changed with Lethality Varus. You still want to start off with the Gluttonous Grease for the early AD and Omnivamp. You could of course go for Lethality Boots as well, but I think in the grand scheme of things, the Gluttonous Grease will give you more value, towards the later stages of the game, and also in laning phase just for the extra healing, right? And then despite being a Lethality build, the first item you want to go for is Essence Reaver. Essence Reaver of course gives you the early AD ability haste and missing mana on hit, which can be very helpful because Varus does use up a lot of mana. Aside from that, you also of course get the additional damage on your ability. This is very important for Q. So with Lethality Varus, you pretty much always want to use Essence Reaver to proc the Q, or use Q to proc the Essence Reaver, I should say, because the extra damage you get from it is really, really nuts. And then you basically go for double lethality item into armor pen into another lethality item. Now, why do I say lethality item? Well, basically you could go for any lethality item you want, right? So you of course have Yo moves, you have Serpents, you have Age of Night, and then you have Collector, and you also have Dustblade. Where is Dustblade? There we go. We also have Dustblade, right? So, personally, I think the best option to go for as your first lethality item is going to be Yomu's, and Yomu's, of course, gives you, a good amount of AD, a good amount of armor pen, and also when you proc the momentum passive, it gives you attack speed for a short duration. So I think that's pretty much the best item option for Varus. And then the rest are pretty much all kind of just situational, right? So you of course have Serpent Spank. Serpent Spank again gives you AD as well as armor pen. And the most useful part is the anti-shield. Now in the current meta, there's pretty much always going to be shielding on the enemy team. So I think this is pretty much a staple of the build. But if you don't need the anti-shield, you can of course go for Collector instead. Collector of course will boost the damage of Essence Reaver, which scales off of crit. And then of course the armor pen item, Seralda's Grudge. Seralda's Grudge is the best armor pen item to go for this build because you get the best stats out of it. You get more AD than more reminder. You also get additional 15 ability haste, and you get the slow. The slow is not really that helpful in Varus. I mean, yes, when you launch your arrows and stuff, you will get a slow for a little while, but you personally are not really going to take advantage of it that much. It's more if your team can take advantage of it. And then, of course, your other lethality options, again, you have Age of Night as a last item option for the extra safety and armor pen, or you could go for something more defensive, as your last option, like a GA, like a Twin Guard, items like that, right? And of course, for the armor pen, you can also swap out to Maul Reminder if there's a lot of healing on the enemy team that you need to cut. So think of it like, there's Aatrox, Warwick, all those kind of champions you want to get anti-heal, and that's what you go for. So for the runes, I like to take Phase Rush. Now, Phase Rush, of course, gives you the movement speed when you hit 3 abilities or attacks on an enemy, and also reduces the cooldowns of your basic abilities. Now, I think this is actually really sweet on Lethality Varus, because Lethality Varus's playstyle is you want to get off a quick combo and then get out and then wait for your cooldowns again, because obviously the Lethality build is all based off of your Q, and of course like proccing your Blight with your ult and your W as well, right? So getting the movement speed to weave in and out of fights, as well as getting the additional ability haste, which allows you to get your abilities out more often to cast them, again, is definitely the way to go. However, you also have a number of other options, right? So you of course can go for something like Lethal Tempo, or Fleet, or Conquer, like the standard ADC runes, if you want to kind of play a different playstyle of Lethality Varus, right? Because of course Varus is still an ADC, you can still auto attack, and you can still play that kind of auto attacking playstyle with Lethality, but I don't really recommend it. Something that's probably a little bit more viable is going to be First Strike or Comet. So First Strike, of course, allows you to burst someone down. Now, of course, this can help you with Lethality, which is basically what you're trying to do, but again, I think Phase Rush is better. And then you have Airy and Comet, which allows you to just get extra poke damage, which again is helpful, but once again, I think that probably your best option here is going to be Phase Rush. Um, and then for the rest of the runes, you go for Brutal, but honestly, you don't auto attack that much, so you do get some value, but not a ton from it. Of course, Giant Slayer to deal with the tanks. Even with Lethality, there's always going to be some health builders on the enemy team. And then Alacrity just for more attack speed, so that if you actually do need to auto attack to stack your blight or things like that, you do have the attack speed necessary. And you have bone plating here, of course, for the additional safety. And then for the spells, you want to go for flash, and then normally you, if you need it, you want to go for cleanse. Otherwise, you go for exhaust or barrier. Now, I personally am becoming a bigger and bigger fan of barrier, because most of the time when you go exhaust, enemy ADC has cleanse, and when you exhaust them, they're gonna cleanse it, and it's not very useful, right? Summoner for summoner trait. Whereas with barrier, you get the additional safety. So I actually do go for barrier in the game you will see right now. And that with that, let's segue into our gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the gameplay itself. Now, of course, as you guys can tell from the title, this is gonna be a pretty stompy game, I guess you could say. Like, we go 21-0-0. I mean, if it's not a stompy game, there's no way you're getting that kind of KDA, right? Like, 0 deaths and 0 assists. Now, honestly, I don't remember ever playing Wild Rift and having like 0 assists and 21 kills, or like a large number of kills and 0 assists. Like, you always have that 1, 2, or like a couple of assists, right? You never have 0 assists, right? That's kind of whack, right? So this is a very special game for me. So here, in the early game, we have a Mordekaiser support, and I've died level 1 to Mordekaiser support before because he took the pull, and I got pulled in, and I just died like an idiot. So I'm not actually underestimating this Mordekaiser support. However, Sivir, takes a ton of damage. I try to flash forward, and look at the barrier. By the way, barrier is saving my life, Nami is saving my life, and Mordekaiser ends up dying. So I guess that's reason number 101 of why barrier is an insanely good summoner spell that is really underrated at the moment. I mean, back in the time when barrier is the default spell every ADC took, I loved taking barrier like every game, but that was before Ghost was viable for ADC. That was before there was cleanse, before exhaust was a good summoner spell. Like, that last time barrier was the only good summoner spell, and I took it like every game, like every other ADC. And this is how a lot of the fights went. Like, they thought they got you, but you pop the barrier and you survive, and then sometimes you turn the fight around like what just happened here, and we get the kill. So Sivir, of course, doesn't have flash, and as I mentioned just now, Sivir has cleanse, right? So Sivir gets caught here. Takes a little bit of poke, but with the cleanse on Sivir, if we had taken exhaust, she could have just cleansed it away, so that wouldn't have been helpful to us at all. Of course, we could have exhausted Mordekaiser, but you normally want to exhaust the person with the most DPS. That's normally the ADC. So speaking of which, in comes Sivir and Mordekaiser. We get a bunch of damage onto Mordekaiser, and he goes down. We're level 3. Sivir taking a bunch of damage as well, and she goes down as well, and the game is off to an amazing start with 3 kills in less than 2 minutes. So, of course, sometimes when you get these kind of games, you can, of course, snowball the game out of control, and that's exactly what we are aiming to do, and as you know from the scoreline, we are gonna do in this particular game. So we shove every minion in, and then we're gonna reset and get items. Now, of course, I complain about this a lot, but the build path of Essence Reaver is horrible. Going for like a Caulfield's Warhammer and a cloak is so horrible. Like, even though we have a huge like goal lead at the moment, like the Caulfield's Warhammer is so not a spike, right? Like, if you had Recurve Bow, if you had like BF Sword, even Noon Quiver is not that bad, right? But Caulfield's Warhammer is just horrible as a mid-tier item. Like, Riot, can you change that at some point, please? Like, Essence Reaver is so horrible build path. So here Sivir manages to complete the recall, gets the home guard removed though because of Nami's W. And here, Mordekaiser has pretty much ditched the lane, so we are going to just farm some plates. We are already getting a couple of plates. Sivir gets bubbled again, and no idea where Mordekaiser has went. But as I said, I have died level 1 to Mordekaiser support as well, and I hardcore lost that game because Mordekaiser got fed in the support role, so I'm, again, not underestimating Mordekaiser's support, but in this case, we are getting fed, so he's probably not going to be a very big problem. Sivir looks like she's about to get caught again, tries to clear the wave. We're getting another plate. We are taking some poke damage though, so here Nami is going for some poke. Now, I launched my ult into Narnia because I thought that Sivir was gonna walk back, but she just kept walking forward towards danger, which is me, right? I thought she was gonna walk away from me, but she just walked to me, and yeah, whatever. We get the kill anyways, although it's a pretty nasty whiff there. Get another plate, and here now we're just going to reset, And with those 4 kills and a lot of plates, we probably have enough for Essence Reaver at this point. Yep, we do. And of course, Essence Reaver is a huge spike. As I said, the components are trash, but the item itself is great. So now with this Essence Reaver spike, we can go back to lane, hopefully get that tower, and then maybe rotate to elsewhere. So here you can see one of the biggest strengths of Essence Reaver is allowing you to one-shot the wave. So you can see here I got the Essence Reaver up. Right, okay, I'm not going to do it on this wave, but we will see it eventually. So Mordekaiser's actually just gone top, right? He straight up just ditched the Sivir and he's just going top. Like maybe he wanted to play top, but the Fiora kind of refused and he ends up playing support instead. But here we get the tower, and now we're thinking of what to do. So I was initially wanting to rotate mid, but I see a wave coming, so I'm gonna clear this wave first. Right, so here you see the one shot of the wave with 1 auto and 1 Q. And now Sivir is kind of getting a little bit caught up by Nami, but we don't want to overchase because objectives have spawned and there's likely going to be someone walking toward Dragon. So we don't want to overcommit onto a Sivir who's already 0 and 2. Not worth it considering the shutdown that I have with my 4 kills. So now we're just going to help our team to take the Dragon. And the enemy team gets the Enchanted Ensemble. In the meanwhile though, Yone is trying to push. We're going to quickly clear this wave so he can't do any of that pushing. And here we have 2 choices. We can rotate to top to possibly get into a fight there with our team, or we can push mid. So I think the more consistent option is to push mid. Sivir is now mid as well. I'm not sure why she's trying to 1v1 me. I guess because Master Yi is here. How did Master Yi end up over the wall there, by the way? So here once again the barrier coming in clutch. The tower shot is gonna finish off the Master Yi. Like that was really weird. Like I already plan to use my flash after Master Yi comes out of the Q of the Alpha Strike, but somehow the Alpha Strike put him over the wall. So actually I didn't even need to flash the wall because flashing the wall actually helped him by putting me right next to him. Like I could have just not flashed the wall and just stayed back on the other side of the wall and just tried to walk away or something like that, or like make him walk over and then flash the wall. But yeah, it was just a really weird situation. Either way, he ends up overcommitting and then dying to the tower. So here Sivir kind of greets for the Skull Crab, and here at this point, yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief. I simply just wait out her spell shield. She even pops the ult to try to run away, but doesn't attempt to dodge the arrow. Doesn't flash the arrow either, so she just dies again. So now she's 0 and 3. Mordekaiser is 0 and 4. He has died twice to like the top lane people. And here I actually decide to rush Serpent's Fang instead of going for Youmuu's Ghostblade. And the reason I'm rushing Serpent's Fang is because Mordekaiser has a lot of shielding. So if we ever get into the Mordekaiser's ulti, I actually think I can 1v1 him if I have Serpent's Fang, which is kind of what I was going for. So here you can see Mordekaiser. You can see, yeah, here we basically just destroy him. Like so, Serpent's Fang removes all of his shielding. And yeah, that's the entire idea. Of course, we can now go for Youmuu's next instead of going for Serpent's Fang. Sorry, not instead of going for Serpent's Fang, but swapping the order. So here, I was trying to get some mid lane tower plays, but you can see Sivir is trying to get bot lane tower plays. I'm not gonna let Sivir get back into the game, so I'm running all the way back down to bot to stop her from pushing. Turns out the plates end up falling anyway, so at most she would have gotten the tower, but I don't want to give her anything for free. So I'm just gonna hit all the way down there just to specifically stop her from getting the farm. Very common mistake, especially if you get very fed very early, is you ditch your lane and the enemy ADC gets all of the plates and gets back into the game. Like those plates are worth a couple of kills. So if you get like 3 kills and then the enemy ADC gets all the plates, the goal is gonna be almost like even because like those plates give a lot of gold. So yeah, now we're going back to the mid lane. Mordekaiser is no threat to us. We're 2 full levels up on him now, 3 levels up on him, although he's about to hit level 9. And here I don't know why he walked back all of a sudden, but yeah, here we're trying to engage in a fight with him. He pulls us in, he ults, and he takes the bait basically. You can see that we have no trouble, killing him whatsoever. Of course, if we played that better and actually dodged his abilities, we would have been even higher on health. But we simply just face tank it and just kill him from our raw damage because, we just do so much damage right now. We're legendary already, 2 full items. He has actually gotten a kill, so his bounty is actually reset, which is actually really great for us. So here we're very close to getting Youmuu's completion, which is why we're kind of sticking around at low HP, low mana. And I believe we should have enough now, and we're just going to run back over here and back. So with that, we complete the Yomu. So now I have 3 items, 9 minutes into the game, and yeah, we're not slowing down. So it's a situation where we're really fed. You can see the entire enemy team. We've killed Master Yi once, we've killed Saber and Mordekaiser multiple times. We have yet to really encounter Yone and Fiora, so despite being very fed, remember we're a squishy ADC with little to no mobility, so we still have to be very cautious like what you see here. We don't want to run in at anybody, so here Master Yi tries to, I don't know, he tries to go in, I guess. Huge bubble here into the combo of Diana and into my ult combo. Here, unfortunately, I flash into the wall. Pretty embarrassing. And Yone ults over the wall to safety. And yeah. If I had flashed the wall there, I think I'd probably kill Yone. Like, Yone takes so much damage. But yeah, pretty unfortunate one there. A little bit of a mechanical blunder there, to be honest. But yeah, we still are at 10 kills. And we're going to be able to get the dragon with our team. So now the next goal is to try to get tier 2 towers, right? Because Baron is not up for another 1.5 minutes and there's not very much to do. So here, Mordekaiser super duper overextended for the tower. Yone actually comes over and tries to get damage onto Nami, I guess. And here, yeah, Mordekaiser's running away, and I don't think it's worth chasing him. I don't think it's worth chasing him all the way because it's gonna waste a lot of time. So I'm just clearing the wave and kind of just staying here. Diana gets the chase down, eventually gets the kill on him. I see Master Yi backing, and since I have Lux with me, I'm gonna disrupt his recall. I didn't want to do that before Lux came because Master Yi could just run me down, and if there's no one really near me. Of course, we don't want that to happen, so we are going to, yeah, only disrupt him when we are safe, when it's safe to do so. So I really need the blue buff, waiting for Diana to take the blue buff. Now, unfortunately, Diana happens to burst the blue buff at the moment I auto-attack, so I actually end up KSing the blue buff, which is a little bit unfortunate, which I did apologize for. Now here Master Yi's trying to run us down again. Nice Q to dodge the bubble, but yeah, he's 1v4 now. He's not going to be able to do very much. Unfortunately, so he goes down once again. And here we have 3 people defending. Nami gets pulled in, has to flash out to safety. And here, one of the other strengths of Lethality Varus is just being able to stand afar and poke. Like, we don't have to walk up and one-shot someone, we just need to stand far away and just poke people down. And that's kind of a good enough job at contributing to our team and to, the chance to win, right? So here, Mordekaiser ults Nami. Nami is stuck in the Death Realm. Does eventually come out, then gets one-shot by myself as well as Lux. We secure the tower. And yeah, now we got enough gold, so we're going to actually recall and pick up our Sorello's Grudge. So in this case, didn't really think we needed the anti-heal. I mean, sure, there is a decent amount of healing on the enemy team, like from Yone, Master Yi, as well as Sivir. Decent amount of gold there, but it's not one of those champions that healed an insane amount, like what I mentioned, like the Aatrox and the Warwick, and those kind of champions that Swain maybe, like those kind of champions that's impossible to kill without the anti-heal. We're having no problem killing them right now, so I didn't really see the need to get the anti-heal. So we're just gonna go for Sorello's, which is just more stats. So here Diana gets picked in the mid lane, unfortunately. And yeah, so the main thing we're scared of is enemy doing Baron, right? Because now we're at 4v5 and we don't have a jungle, so enemy could possibly rush Baron or sneak Baron, and then we'd be in trouble. So they're not gonna sneak it because we are in the area. And here, if we end up dying here, it's gonna be a game-losing throw. So here I'm trying to be very cautious. Here I'm trying to get some kills, but it's not happening. I get ulted by Mordekaiser, one-shot him. I'm not sure why he's ulting me, but yeah. So he goes down. Yone tries to come in, doesn't do all that much. We pop the fruit, and yeah, we're all good. So here, at this point, I kind of want to get a stasis, right? Because if one like Yone or Master Yi managed to all go onto me together, I could be in trouble. So here I changed to defensive boots. the armor boots and then get a stasis as well, because basically their whole team is AD except Mordekaiser, who's not really doing all that well anyways. So here we're optimizing our build for the enemy team, right? And honestly, at this point, since we have 13 kills and 0 deaths, I'm actually thinking of going GA as the last item, because with such a big shutdown, getting a GA and getting the revive is going to be huge to prevent the enemy team from getting the shutdowns, right? By the way, this Diana is not a very good smiter. I've been securing a lot of the objectives here there with my burst instead of Diana smiting, and the last objective is coming up, the Infernal Dragon. Now here, Silver super fast reactions to dodge the Nami bubble there, which we were in the bush trapping for her, but she actually manages to react in time and walk away. So here we pick up the Ocean Soul, which doesn't really matter so much as just preventing the enemy team from getting dragons, I guess. And you can see that despite the fact that I have a 6k gold lead against, or 5k gold lead against the Sivir, my team only has like oh, here comes Yone. We actually ult Mastery by accident, because I was actually aiming for Yone, but Yone snapped back and Mastery ate the ult instead, which is pretty funny. And yeah, so here we're trying to siege onto the mid lane inhibitor tower. Sivir ults, tries to go in, is eating a bunch of damage from me, dies dies to me, dies to my damage. I mean, this is not very interesting commentary, because essentially I do so much damage at this point that I pretty much just one-shot whoever. Fiora is probably the hardest to kill, because she's actually doing pretty well, all things considered. I ult her, trying to get the burst damage down, but she actually dodges my Q with her own. And here Yone tries to go in. I actually pop the barrier, but he doesn't even eat through my barrier, because he doesn't really do that much damage. Here, Fiora gets caught, riposts all of the damage, and dashes away again. Survives once again. Here, Master Yi decides to run in 1v3, just gets one shot. Mordekaiser is flashing in behind and gets one shot. And sorry, not gets one shot. Ults Nami, and Nami is trying her best to survive and does so, and I'm able to pick up the kill. Now I really want to kill Fiora, right? We need to get her, but she gets away again. Yeah, I'm trying to focus Fiora, but it's not happening. She's just escaping every single time. And at this point, we have all 3 inhibs. But unfortunately, we're all kind of low, right? You see, Nami and myself, we're really low. So is Lux, right? Lux isn't really low. Yeah. So, anyways, we decide to all just reset instead of trying to force the end. So here, I get the GA. So at this point, I have stasis, I have GA, I have flash, and my barrier is gonna come up soon. So I should be fine. Like, even if I get completely caught out, I still have my GA, I still have my stasis, you know. And now here, finally, Fiora makes a mistake. She overextends, and we finally kill her. There we go. Satisfying kill on Fiora. The one person we haven't been able to kill the entire game. By the way, we have people like Master Yi who's 0, 6, and 0. He has literally 0 KP. So at this point, Elder and Baron are both coming up. And honestly, I don't even think we need both to win the game. Here I'm thinking of catching somebody out. But once again, I am a squishy ADC, and I do want to be careful about it. Don't just randomly walk into people and die. So here, Sivir is a little bit overextended. She pops everything. She flashes away in fear. And yeah, both objectives are coming up. Honestly, I think maybe we just need Baron and we can just end the game. We don't really even need Elder. I actually think the optimal move here is for us to take Baron and then just push. Because if the enemy team tries to defend, they probably die and then we win the game. If they try to sneak Elder, we probably just win the game because we can end the game before they can actually get Elder and go back to base. So I think the optimal move here is actually just to push, right? So you can see here I'm trying to push. I'm pinged to attack Nexus, but my whole team is not cooperating, right? It's pretty much only Nami that's going in. Now Lux is going in as well. So the rest of my team are doing Elder. So I decided to help them with Elder, but I realized that the rest of my team need help as well. Lux is flashing away. Fiora nearly gets one-shot by me. Elder is not going to one-shot her. Trying to reach the Sivir, can't quite do so. But with the Baron waves coming in, this is definitely going to be a win with both the Baron and the Elder. And it's at this point, enemy team probably cannot defend and probably is going to end up losing here. Yeah, Sivir tries to step up. We hit her with a E. Master Yi, I'm not sure what he's doing. I'm just going to auto-attack him down. Down he goes. Elder procs. Sivir goes down as well. Mordekaiser nearly dies, but survives, and we do end up finishing off the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.